The Predator franchise has always thrived on placing its alien hunters in extreme environments with worthy prey, from steamy jungles to war-torn city streets. But Predator, Killer of Killers, takes that premise even further, throwing the Yautja into some of the most brutal periods in human history, and few match the sheer savagery of the Viking era. Welcome back to your nerdy show. I'm your host, Spoiler Master. The first segment of this animated anthology introduces us to a hulking Yautja, known unofficially as the Viking Killer, or as the local Norse people refer to him, the Monster. He's a towering, cybernetically enhanced predator that rampages through a Scandinavian saga of blood, vengeance, and warrior honor. Let's dive deep into who this monster really is, his origins, weapons, anatomy, and what sets him apart from every other predator we've seen. The setting: Norse revenge and predator ambush. Set in 872 AD, the Viking arc of Killer of Killers centers on Ursa, a grizzled Norse warrior, and her teenage son, Anders. They lead a small warband to take revenge on a brutal warlord named Zoran, the man who slaughtered Ursa's clan when she was a child. Their mission is pure Norse vengeance. They burn their way through the remnants of Zoran's tribe, finally reaching him in an icy fortress. After a brutal confrontation, it's Anders who lands the killing blow. Victory is theirs. But just as the cold winds settle and the clan celebrates, the ground trembles. The Predator appears. No warning, no honor, just death. This monster had been watching the conflict from the shadows, cloaked, silent, and patient. And now that the strongest have survived, he attacks. In a matter of seconds, Ursa's clan is obliterated. The Viking killer predator rips through warriors like they're paper. Anders is knocked out and buried under a collapsing structure, leaving Ursa to face the beast alone. Their duel under the pale northern sun is vicious, but ends with Ursa dragging the predator beneath frozen waters, outwitting him and killing him with his own tech. But her victory is bitter. Anders dies in her arms, moments too late to save him. The anatomy of the Viking killer. The Viking killer isn't just another Yautja. Everything about him screams different. He's massive, over 8 feet tall, with thick, ashen gray skin covered in scars. He looks more like a juggernaut than a stealth hunter. His physical bulk suggests either a different subspecies of Yautja or some kind of genetic enhancement. His long dreadlocks sweep down his back and his mandibles twitch like a beast constantly on the hunt. Unlike most predators, he wears almost no armor. His upper body is completely exposed, which is rare even among feral Yautja. All he has is a groin guard, a customized biohelmet, and one terrifying enhancement, a power fist, replacing his missing right arm. Yes, this predator lost an arm in an earlier conflict, possibly in a past fight with Viking raiders, and chose to replace it with a mechanical energy weapon. This isn't just a survival story, it's a tale of adaptation. The Viking killer literally upgraded his body to keep hunting. A missing arm with a history. The Viking killer's most defining visual trait is his mechanical power fist arm, but how did he lose his original limb? While the film never shows this, the implications are fascinating. He may have lost it in a prior hunt gone wrong, possibly against a Viking berserker, or maybe even during a failed ambush. That history gives the predator a rougher, more grounded edge. He's not invincible. He's earned his kills and scars. And in predator lore, this kind of injury often pushes a hunter up the ranks. Instead of retiring, the Viking killer rearmed himself with Yautja tech and kept hunting. That cybernetic resilience mirrors the gladiatorial mindset of both predator and Viking culture. Suffer damage, adapt, and return to battle. The helmet and cloaking tech. The Viking killer wears a biohelmet, but it looks nothing like the sleek designs we've seen before. This one is primitive, perhaps made from bone, wood, or ancient alloy. Its eye slots glow red, hinting at advanced tracking systems, but everything else is stripped down. He still uses cloaking technology, of course. It's how he stalks Ursa and Anders, undetected for most of the film. But in battle, he relies less on stealth and more on brute force. Once exposed, he fights like a barbarian god of war. the Power Fist, an unseen weapon in the franchise. The centerpiece of the Viking Predator's arsenal is his Power Fist. We've never seen anything quite like it in the movies. It's a close-range energy gauntlet that charges via a mechanical lever and releases kinetic shockwaves capable of pulverizing enemies. He uses it in several ways: as a charged melee weapon to punch through armor, wood, and bone, as a projectile-style energy burst that sends opponents flying, and tactically, as a form of crowd control. His initial ambush sends Anders crashing through a wall. When activated, the gauntlet glows with an ominous blue light. But it also has a drawback: the recoil. Every blast launches the Predator backwards. Ursa notices this and turns it to her advantage during the final fight. By chaining the Predator and causing him to strike while off balance, she triggers a misfire. The recoil sends him crashing into the frozen water, where he's tangled in the chains, unable to break free. A brutal, poetic end to a relentless killer. Predators versus Vikings, an honor match for the ages. The Viking Killer isn't just a random Yautja dropped into the timeline. He symbolizes the perfect thematic foil to Viking culture. Both he and Ursa live by codes of strength, resilience, and pride in battle. The difference? The Yautja hunts for sport. Ursa fights for survival and justice. Interestingly, this isn't the first time we've seen Vikings and Predators clash. The short story Skeld's Keep, in the If It Bleeds anthology, also explored this matchup. The Predator game Hunting Grounds even featured a Viking Predator class, showing how some Yautja respected Norse warriors enough to imitate their armor. But Killer of Killers takes the concept further. The Yautja in this story is seen as a literal monster by the Norse. They don't understand that he's an alien. To them, he's just another mythic beast, like a troll or Draugr, emerging from the mist to test their courage. And that's the real brilliance of this segment. It reinterprets the Predator as a supernatural force within a mythological lens. Instead of high-tech weaponry and futuristic cloaks, we get bone helmets and savage hand-to-hand combat. A warrior's death under ice. The final fight beneath the ice is unforgettable. It's something the Predator films have never done before, but it's a perfect evolution of the franchise. As Ursa and the Viking Killer battle atop a crumbling Viking longhouse, the floor gives out. They plunge into a frozen lake. Underwater, the Predator still has the upper hand, until Ursa turns his tech against him. By baiting him into firing the Power Fist while tangled in a chain, the blast sends him backward, right onto the sharp edge of the anchor. It impales his skull, killing him instantly. This scene isn't just visually stunning, it's narratively rich. A mother who fought her entire life for revenge wins by using her enemy's strength against him. It's a warrior's ending for both sides. Is the Viking Killer a berserker or something else? Fans have speculated whether the Viking Killer is a super predator or berserker class, like those seen in Predators 2010. The size, red eyes, and brutality align with those traits, but the facial features don't fully match. There's also the question of whether he belongs to a new Yautja caste or subspecies. His body seems genetically enhanced, and he uses cybernetics more than any known elite. Could this be an early experiment in Yautja hybridization, one that predates the civil war mentioned in The Predator 2018? That mystery is what makes him so terrifying. He's not just a hunter, he's an unknown, a relic of an era before the strict Yautja hierarchies we're familiar with. A wild beast that walks like a man. Connections to Gladiator Predator and expanded lore. The Viking Killer shares visual and thematic DNA with the Gladiator Predator from the Batman or Superman versus Aliens and Predator comic crossover. That Predator was similarly massive, used minimal armor, and fought in melee combat with honor. Interestingly, that Gladiator Predator was also defeated using electricity, mirroring the Viking Killer's death by energy recoil. Could these two be from a similar tribe? A faction of Yautja who reject stealth and plasma weaponry for brute strength and tradition? There's even a predator god described as an extraterrestrial Odin in the AVP novelizations. Maybe these Norse-styled Yautja worship that deity, forging a warrior path that resonates with Viking ideology. Our nerdy thoughts. The Viking Killer proves that the Predator mythos still has a lot of room to grow. By reimagining the Yautja as ancient myth in a Viking saga, Killer of Killers elevates the Predator from sci-fi villain to timeless icon. This version isn't about future tech or stealth kills. It's about raw survival, rage, redemption. He's a monster born of pain and forged in battle, and he meets his end not through superior firepower, but through cleverness and grit. In many ways, the Viking Killer represents the franchise's evolution, bigger threats, new styles of combat, and fresh blood on ancient snow. If you enjoyed this breakdown of the Viking Killer Predator, make sure to check out our other videos covering the Grendel King, the Sky Reaper, and the full lore of Killer of Killers. Like, share, and comment below. Who do you think is the deadliest predator of them all? Thanks for watching, and remember, in the eyes of the Yautja, only the strong survive.
No, what the heck, I'll laugh anyway.